Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment.
In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy.
Sean Diddy's life has taken a shocking and dramatic turn, leaving fans and observers alike in disbelief. Once a music mogul reigning over the hip-hop world, Diddy now finds himself at the center of an unfolding nightmare. His sudden hospitalization from the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has sparked a whirlwind of speculation and fear. What could be so serious that it required a late-night trip to the hospital under the cover of darkness? Is this just a routine checkup, or is there something far more alarming happening behind the...
That's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his...
Let's start with the official story. According to reports, Diddy was transported to Brooklyn Hospital Center for an MRI scan on his knee. This scan, a non-invasive procedure, was apparently ordered because he had been complaining of pain, a lingering issue from his past injuries, including a marathon he ran back in 2003. But here's where things get a little strange. Why was this done in the middle of the night, cloaked in mystery? Sources close to the situation claim this was to avoid drawing attention from other inmates and staff. But that explanation doesn't sit well with many. After all, why go to such lengths for something as mundane as a knee scan? Could there be more to this story than meets the eye?
Apparently, Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital.
Diddy's health has been a topic of concern for years. He spoken openly about his history of surgeries and accidents. Back in 2020, he admitted to undergoing his fourth surgery in just 2 years, citing issues with his rotator cuffs, a knee replacement, and even complications with his quads. On social media, he jokingly referred to himself as clumsy and said, "This was God's work to slow me down." But now, with reports of his dramatic weight loss, graying hair, and increasingly fragile appearance, fans are left wondering, is this just another chapter in his history of health struggles, or is something far more serious happening inside those prison walls?
After that initial review of his current medical situation during his physical, and then there's follow-up to that process if there's something found, immediately. But, you have to understand, daily there are medical staff walking through the units, doing what we call sit call and asking inmates, are they okay? And then you have folks that are walking around passing out.
Let's dig deeper into the context. Diddy has been locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center since his arrest last year, and it's no secret that this facility is infamous for its horrifying conditions. The prison has been described as hell on earth, with overcrowding, poor sanitation, and rampant violence. High profile inmates like R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell have also spent time there, and the stories that have emerged paint a grim picture of what life is like inside. Reports suggests that inmates at the MDC are subjected to maggot-infested food, freezing temperatures, and free chew lockdowns that leave them confined to their cell for days on end. Could these brutal conditions be taking a toll on Diddy's health? It's not hard to imagine how months of living in such an environment could wear down even the strongest of individuals.
Definitely go out in his institutional jumpsuit. He would be handcuffed, leg irons, and what we call a Martin chain, which is the waist, the chains around your waist, handcuffs, and then what we call a black box. That would be a little mechanism that would go over the handcuffs to make sure that, he is not moving around necessarily. And I'm almost certain that they probably...
Adding another layer to this already murky situation are the whispers of internal conflicts within the prison. Some sources have speculated that Diddy may have been involved in an altercation with other inmates, leading to injuries that required medical attention. While these claims have been dismissed by those close to the rapper, the very fact that such rumors exist highlights how volatile and dangerous his current environment is. And then there's the question of whether Diddy might be facing external pressures of as well. Could the stress of his legal battles combined with the hostile conditions of the MDC be pushing him to his breaking point.
Inmates have procedures all the time. I mean, you have folks there with cancer, you have folks there with, serious other chronic diseases. And sometimes it does require individuals to have surgery even while they're on pretrial status.
Truly alarming, however, are the rumors circulating about secret interrogations. According to Insider reports, federal agents may be pressuring Diddy for about certain video recordings that allegedly contain incriminating material on other high-profile figures. These recordings, often referred to in hush tones as the blackmail tapes, are said to feature footage from lavish parties that Diddy hosted over the years. If such tapes exist, they could potentially implicate powerful individuals and shed light on activities that many would prefer to keep hidden. The stakes are incredibly high, and the stress of being caught in this web of secrets could be wreaking havoc on Diddy's physical and mental health.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty.
When now, let's talk about his appearance. Those who have seen Diddy since his incarceration paint a stark picture. Once known for his larger-than-life presence and impeccable style, the man who recently appeared in court seemed like a shadow of his former self. Observers noted that he looked noticeably thinner, with grayer hair and a demeanor that suggested he was struggling. Journalist Elizabeth Milner, who attended one of his hearings, described his transformation as astonishing, pointing out how dramatically different he looked compared to just a few months ago. This physical decline has only fueled speculation that Diddy's health is failing, raising concerns about whether he'll even make it to his trial in May.
Concern, no judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day, oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes, and sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet.
What if there's more to this story? Some theorists believe that Diddy might be suffering from a previously undisclosed illness. The combination of his rapid weight loss, pale complexion, and the secrecy surrounding his hospital visit has led some to speculate that he could be battling a life-threatening condition. Could it be that the knee pain was just a cover story and the real reason for his late-night hospital trip was far more serious? If that's the case, why hasn't his legal team or his representatives addressed these rumors? Hidden. The silence only adds to the mystery, leaving fans and followers grasping for answers that,
with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
Then there's the question of whether Diddy's current predicament is purely coincidental or part of a larger conspiracy. As a high-profile figure with immense wealth and influence, he undoubtedly has his fair share of enemies. Could someone be orchestrating events behind the scenes to ensure his downfall? The timing of his arrest, the harsh conditions of his detention, and now his sudden health issues all seem almost too convenient to ignore. Some have even suggested that his hospitalization could have been staged as part of an elaborate plan to extract information or further weaken his resolve. While these theories may sound far-fetched, they reflect the growing sense of unease surrounding Diddy's situation. And yet, despite all this, there are those who insist that Diddy is holding up just fine. Sources close to him claim that he remains focused on his defense and is determined to clear his name. They describe him as being in good spirits and say he's doing his best to stay active and healthy even under such challenging circumstances. But how much of this is true and how much is just damage control? With so many conflicting reports, it's hard to separate fact from fiction.
They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about a wrongful prosecution, because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
As we look ahead to Diddy's Upcoming trial, one question looms large. Will he even make it to court? The combination of his deteriorating health, the harsh conditions of his detention, and the mounting legal pressures against him make for a grim picture, and yet the story is far from over. With each new development, the mystery deepens, leaving everyone wondering what will happen next. Is this the beginning of the end for one of music's biggest icons, or does Diddy still have a few surprises up his sleeve? Only time will tell. The tangled web of Diddy Combs' life behind bars only grows more complex and mysterious as his health reportedly deteriorates and whispers of hidden secrets swirl. Another layer of this saga has emerged, a sinister theory that Diddy's legal troubles may not be entirely coincidental. Could it be that forces far greater than the justice system are working to silence him? The conspiracy that surrounding his case are as chilling as they are fascinating, and they raise an unsettling question: is Diddy being targeted by a calculated effort to erase him from the narrative before he can expose the truth?
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
the shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Let's start with the most explosive theory making the rounds, that Diddy's current predicament isn't just about the charges he's facing, but about protecting others who might be implicated if he ever decides to talk. Over the years, Diddy has amassed a reputation as one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. His influence, connections, and access to sensitive information have made him both revered and feared. Some insiders are now speculating that Diddy's empire wasn't just built on music and business savvy, but on a collection of secrets that could destroy careers, reputations, and perhaps even lives if they ever came to light. It
sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
This brings us to the infamous blackmail tapes. Rumors of these recordings have been circulating for years, whispered about in the shadows of Hollywood and the music industry. Allegedly, these tapes contain footage from lavish parties hosted by Diddy, where some of the biggest names in entertainment and business were said to have let their guard down in ways they'd rather forget. According to sources, these events were meticulously documented, with Diddy reportedly keeping recordings as a form of leverage. Whether these accounts are exaggerated or not, the mere idea of such tapes existing has sent shock waves through the industry. If Diddy does indeed possess such material, it's easy to see why some might go to great lengths to ensure it never sees the light of day. But here's where things take a darker turn. Some believe that Diddy's downfall isn't just the result of legal troubles, but a calculated effort by powerful individuals to neutralize him before he can use what he knows. The timing of his arrest, the harsh conditions of his detention, and now his alarming health issues all seem suspiciously aligned. Could this be part of a larger campaign to silence him? It's worth noting that the Metropolitan Detention Center where Diddy is being held has a reputation for being a brutal place, not just because of its squalid conditions, but because of the political games often played behind its walls. High-profile inmates like Diddy are especially vulnerable, as their fame makes them both a target and a pawn in larger power struggles.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
The fire is the fact that Diddy has reportedly been refusing prison meals out of fear for his safety, according to prison consultant Larry Lavine. This isn't paranoia, it's a calculated move. Levine speculated that Diddy might be worried about the possibility of someone tampering with his food to harm him. What if somebody on the outside knew someone working in the prison, Lavine asked, it could slowly poison him over time? While this might sound like something out of a thriller, the history of the Metropolitan Detention Center suggests it's not entirely far-fetched, with reports of inmate violence, contraband smuggling, and even alleged staff misconduct, it's clear that this facility is a breeding ground for danger.
Understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
But the fear of tampered meals might not be Diddy's only concern. Other insiders claim that his paranoia stems from threats he has allegedly received from people outside the prison walls. According to these sources, Diddy fears retaliation from individuals who believe he might reveal damaging information to the authorities. The timing of these threats reportedly coincides with the FBI's rumored interest in questioning him about the so-called blackmail tapes. If there's any truth to this, it would explain why Diddy appears to be constantly looking over his shoulder, even in the confines of a federal lockup.
People do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshals inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times.
Adding to the tension, some of Diddy's closest associates have reportedly distanced themselves from him since his arrest. While this could simply be an attempt to protect their own reputations, it has fueled speculation that they may know more about the allegations against him. A few former collaborators have even begun leaking cryptic statements to the media, hinting at their own experiences working with the music mogul. This has only intensified public curiosity, with many wondering whether these individuals are preparing to testify against him in exchange for leniency in their own legal battles. Meanwhile, rumors are swirling that Diddy has been keeping a detailed record of his business dealings, personal encounters, and the people who have wronged him over the years. Some are calling this his insurance policy against those who might try to betray him. If such a record exists, it could serve as a powerful weapon in his defense or as bargaining chip with prosecutors. However, it also raises the stakes for anyone who believes they could be implicated, further escalating the tension surrounding his already precarious situation.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't
Of course, Diddy's legal battles add another layer of complexity to this already chaotic situation. The charges against him are serious, and the evidence presented by prosecutors paints a damning picture, but some believe that the case against Diddy has been strategically inflated to keep him behind bars for as long as possible. Federal prosecutors have reportedly revised their indictment multiple times, adding new allegations and victims, what some see as an attempt to overwhelm his defense team. Whether this is standard legal strategy or something more sinister is up for debate, but it begs the question: who stands to gain from keeping Diddy locked away?
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he could face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
The conspiracy theories don't stop there. Another popular narrative suggests that Diddy's legal troubles are part of a larger effort to dismantle his empire. Over the past 3 decades, Diddy has built an impressive portfolio of businesses, from Bad Boy Records to his ventures in fashion, spirits, and media. His success has made him a cultural icon, but also a potential threat to those who might view his influence as a challenge to their own power. By taking him down, some believe his competitors can swoop in to claim what's left of his empire. While this theory might sound far-fetched, it's not without precedent. The entertainment industry is notorious for its cutthroat tactics, and Diddy's status as a trailblazer has undoubtedly made him a target
The latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
The swirling theories. Diddy's legal team has remained steadfast in their defense, insisting that he is innocent and the charges against him are exaggerated. His lead attorney Mark Agelo has described the case as a flawed prosecution driven by a desire to tarnish Diddy's legacy. Agelo has also highlighted the challenges of preparing for trial while Diddy is housed under such harsh conditions, arguing that the Metropolitan Detention Center is no place for anyone, let alone someone trying to mount a legal defense. But even as his lawyers fight to clear his name, the clock is ticking. With his trial set for May, Diddy faces an uphill battle to prove his innocence and regain his freedom. What's perhaps most fascinating about Diddy's situation is how it reflects broader questions about power, influence, and accountability in today's world. Is he a victim of his own success, brought down by the very system he once dominated, or is he simply facing the consequences of his actions, with the justice system finally catching up to him? The truth likely lies somewhere in between, but one thing is clear: Diddy's story is far from over. As the legal drama unfolds, the public will be watching closely, not just to see what happens to him, but to understand what his case says about the world we live in.
This is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
Now Diddy remains behind bars, fighting not just for his freedom, but for his legacy. Whether he emerges from this ordeal as a cautionary tale or a symbol of resilience will depend on what happens in the months ahead. But one thing is certain: the world will be watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher as the mystery deepens and the conspiracy theories continue to swirl. One can't help but wonder how much of the truth will we ever really know, and more importantly, will Diddy live to tell his side of the story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this explosive story. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned, because trust us, this saga is far from over.